Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video, and I am starting with Nightcrawler. If you guys watch my unboxing video, you know you'll hear that I said I was going to start with Storm. Yeah, I'm going to switch it up. I'm actually going to do the Wendigo wave first, and then I will do the Retro wave. I usually go in order as it shows in the back of the package, but you know what? I'm just changing it up left and right. So I'm going to start with Nightcrawler, probably do Mr. Sinister next, and then, I don't know, Wolverine, Cannonball. We'll kind of see from there, but the first two are definitely going to be Nightcrawler and then Mr. Sinister. So this one, I am very excited to add a Nightcrawler figure to my collection. I know that Toy Biz did release one, and that was actually a pretty good figure that has stood the test of time. However, I don't have any Toy Biz figures, so I don't have that figure. So here we are, Nightcrawler. Awesome. So X-Men in the front. So this is the X-Force wave, but it doesn't actually say X-Force on this particular figure. It is the Wendigo Build-A-Figure wave. So pretty cool. X logo up at the top. Build-A-Figure Wendigo there. This is new, where it has like the age. So that's something I think that's changing on all packages. Not that it's a big deal. Nightcrawler. Side artwork looking very awesome of Nightcrawler. Here is the back of the package and all the figures in the wave to build Wendigo. Let's look at the bio. Nightcrawler, with sticky hands, a sharp tail, and piercing yellow eyes, the troublemaking mutant Nightcrawler scales walls and teleports from place to place. So, really interesting. There is the Nightcrawler figure. Let's open it up. I won't show the UPC. You guys can go to my Instagram account to get all of that info. Here we go. And here is the Nightcrawler figure out of the package, and he is amazing. But in typical Hasbro fashion, when it comes to X-Men Marvel Legends, they cheap out on the paint apps. I don't know what it is about X-Men figures. You think that because they've been selling pretty well, they're coming in heavy, people want them, they're highly in demand, that they would do better with the paint apps. Now, it's not enough for me to be disappointed in the figure or anything, but I did think that I should point that out. So we'll get a closer look at it right now. Okay, so the figure is great. The sculpt is great. We get new stuff on this figure, but as I was talking about the paint apps on this guy, so I'm going to point those out real quick first. So sloppy white paint and red over the black. You could see a lot of the black bleeding through on certain areas. You could just real sloppy in some area. I mean, look at that. And then on the legs, it just, you know, Hasbro has the capability of giving us clean paint apps, but I mean, you know, it seems like the X-Men figures, more than any, they miss the mark a little bit. You see some of the black bleed through. Now, aside from that, again, the figure is awesome. We get 3 total head sculpts. We get 1 additional hand, which is cool, and I understand why they did it that way. And we get a sword. So I can't complain about everything that comes with the figure because it is awesome. But I would have liked to have gotten clean paint apps. But really cool. So looking at him here, you can see it is awesome. Now, for the most part, the figure uses the Pizza Spidey mold, but this upper torso piece is new. I'm not sure about the bottom piece, and then obviously the hip joint, the hip piece is going to be new because we have the tail in there. It cannot be removed. I tried pulling it out. It can't be removed, but you got a full swivel for the tail, so that's pretty cool. Full swivel for the tail. No bendy wire in the tail. It is sculpted that way, but as you kind of move it around, you can do different things with it, but you're not really going to get it to point out or point at people unless you work some magic to try and fit it around that way. But really cool. This whole piece here, these are actually like rubber pieces that are glued onto the figure, so it's actually sculpted in and glued onto the figure. And then there's a hidden butterfly joint in there, so that's pretty cool. That was unexpected. I didn't know that there'd be a butterfly joint in there, so I'm pretty happy about that. But let's look at the different heads. So this is the one that comes on the figure out of the package. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of blue wash throughout the hair to kind of give it some texture detail. Yellow eyes, and then he's got some shading under his eyes, so that looks pretty good. Now, some of the other ones that he comes with, here is the first of the 2 additional head sculpts. If I can pop this on. Wow, that did not want to go on nice and easily. So this one is a smiling head, so it's very similar to this one, but you can see he's smiling. The hair I'm trying to think if the hair is the same piece. Hasbro's been doing that a lot lately, where they just use like the same hair pieces on different heads, but it actually looks like it is a different head sculpt. Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like this hair is a little bit bigger, so it looks like a new hair sculpt as well. So this one just the same, except he's smiling. Not as much shading under the eye. You get it more so around the eye, so there's a little bit of difference there. And then the next one is kind of the screaming one. These heads are actually kind of small, so it's kind of weird. And then trying to get it onto the ball joint, that one on a little bit easier. So this one is a very different head sculpt. So you can see here, kind of has an angry face with his mouth open, and the paint apps look fairly clean. It looks like just kind of painted a red dot inside of his mouth. White for the teeth, and you can see actually a little bit of blue behind the teeth before the tongue. But it's not, again, it's not really terrible. We get yellow eyes, but his face is kind of blacked out. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be kind of when he's teleporting, if that's kind of effect that it has at the time he's doing that, if that's what it's supposed to represent. If you guys know something that I don't, let me know down in the comments below. But this one looks pretty awesome as well. I think, oh, happy 4th of July, a little early. I'm gonna pause the video, wait for that to stop. Okay, so now that the fireworks outside have stopped, I can talk about it. So as cool as this head sculpt looks, I think I'm gonna go with the smiling face one. This one I kind of like the most, because at least he has some kind of facial expression in it. But man, it seems like it's kind of hard to get to pop on there. So there, that's the one I'm going to use. So let's take a look at the accessories, and then we'll take a look at his articulation. Okay, so Nightcrawler comes with a sword. This is kind of a pirate-looking sword, and I know that's what he uses in the comic. So this one is actually done fairly nice. I'm glad that we actually got a silver paint for the sword itself, whereas we've been cheaped out and gotten like the dull gray plastic. So we got that, and then the handle is just painted gold, and that looks pretty good. The sculpt of it is pretty nice anyway. And then we get one additional hand. Now the reason why we get this is because on the figure itself, you have an open hand for his left hand, and then for his right hand, this is the sword holding hand. You could see that it's pretty tight, so he can grip the sword. And the way you have to work that in, because it's kind of tight, you have to kind of pry his fingers open and then work the sword into there, and that's how he's going to hold the sword. So that's pretty cool. Take that off, and then the last piece, of course, is the Wendigo Build-A-Figure arm. This thing looks really good. I'm going to compare him, once I build him, I'll compare him to Sasquatch to see how many pieces of it are actually reused. I don't know if any of them are, or majority of them could be. We'll find out when I build that figure. Now let's take a look at Nightcrawler's articulation. Okay, so looking at Nightcrawler's articulation, so I already talked about the tail and how that gets you a full swivel around. No issues there. The head, of course, it can swivel. There is some pivot in there. It can look all the way down, can look all the way up, so that is really nice. Shoulders can go up a little bit more than straight out. Again, there is a butterfly joint in there, so mostly you're going to get the arm to go back. Getting it to go forward is a little bit of a challenge, so not much motion coming forward, so it's definitely just going back. There is an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, you get a wrist swivel, and then a hinge. So this one hinges up and down, and mine has a little bit of gap to where they do that. It's because, you know, brand new hand, I guess they didn't quite get it all the way. The gap isn't so much an issue on the right hand, but the sword holding hand has the opposite hinge, so it's like the roll of the dice motion on the right hand. So ab crunch, he can crunch down that far, which is pretty good. He can crunch back a whole lot, which is great. There is a waist swivel that goes all the way around. Legs go out that far apart, which is great. That's great range of motion there. You get an upper thigh cut there, double jointed knee, which works out really well. No boot cut or anything, but foot hinges all the way up, hinges all the way down, and then a great ankle pivot there. And the feet actually look really good as well. So great articulation for Nightcrawler. Okay, so there is my review. Nightcrawler figure is a fantastic figure. I'm very happy to have him. Yes, I wish the paint apps were a little bit better, but again, very pleased to have him since I don't have the Toy Biz figure and I won't ever get that Toy Biz figure. It's nice to have him here. Sorry I can't do a comparison for you guys, but I'm sure that you guys will be pleased when you're able to get this. Now remember, he is packed 2 per case, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get a hold of him. As we know, double packs are usually pretty easy. After a while, they tend to be the harder ones to get, but when he first hits, I'm sure, you know, people will go crazy, but it won't be too bad since he is double packed. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.